What is up, everybody? None of the fancy videos this week. I've been kind of just sitting on this one and almost, I don't want to say anger, but yeah, a bit of anger, quite honestly. Let's be real, We've been lied to for so long. I'm sick of it. We'll get into the rant later. Let's go over today communication, navigation, and control systems. And interspersed, I'll give you my thoughts on David Grush, the UFO retrieval program, the fact that it's almost like, look, it's been such a long disinformation campaign. We don't know what's real, what's fake, but the best disinformation has some information in it. So, these were the ones that we have for this. And I keep saying, because I'm just propose a new communication system, discuss the challenges for developing AI. And a lot of these you'll see today are things that can be built easily, not easily, but things that can be built with today's technology that we know. And that's my other part. All of this, most of this may be stuff that is already usable. That's what angers me more than anything, is that we sitting here like, oh, yeah, when a lot of this information possibly is already readily accessible to us as, people on this planet, period, whatever. Anyway, went down to the work table, was saying that the quantum communication system be the least feasible, but that the AI powered navigation systems, the augmented reality and AI in the cockpit, the human machine interface, all of these were quite practical. But it did not think too much about the underwater aerial relays. So for these, I did all of the four except for the relay one, because that wasn't kind of what the idea was, doing something inside the vehicle. And I got a secret fifth one that I added to the mix, but you'll see that as we get there. So, propose a new communication system for transmedium vehicles that leverages quantum entanglement to enable instant, secure, and long-distance communication, even when traditional methods like radio waves are not feasible. So it created this thing it called the Quantum Entanglement Communication System, and in that, it talked about the QECS. At the core of the QECS is a pair of quantum entangled particles. These particles could be photons, electrons, or atoms, depending on the specifics of the technology developed for this system. We will use photons due to their low mass and ease of transmission. The photons are generated in an entangled state by the source of the vehicle, the quantum channel. The entangled photons are then separated. One photon is kept on the vehicle while the other is sent to the communication base station. This forms the quantum channel. The challenge here is to transmit the photon without disrupting its quantum state, a process known as decoherence communication. When a message needs to be sent, the state of the photon in the vehicle is manipulated, which due to entanglement will also change the state of the photon at the base station. This change can be detected and interpreted as communication data, which there's an argument when you think about the no communication theorem in entangled particles. But look, we may not know everything yet. We definitely don't know everything according to the government, and we're too stupid to understand, it seems. Security, of course, is entangled, provides inherent security. According to the laws of quantum mechanics, any attempts to observe or measure the quantum system will disturb it. Therefore, any eavesdropping attempts will be evident because it will cause abnormalities in the data. Scaling for practical communications, many entangled pairs will be needed to be generated and transmitted, which presents significant technical challenges. So, talked about that. Now discuss the challenges and potential solutions for developing an AI-powered navigation systems for transmedium vehicles that can adapt to different environments and dynamically optimize their routes based on changing conditions. Pretty much straightforward. Basically, we won't go so much into the challenges. Let's get to the solutions. Modular AI design, one possible. Well, is there anything challenges you can? Of course, I left it here for you to read. But it just basically was saying, hey, it's going to be a lot of different information, a lot of data. You see how, bit of an aside, Apple in their Vision Quest Pro has this new chip, that R1 chip. Maybe you don't know if you do know, but they have their M2, which is their regular proprietary, the chip that they're made to handle the operating system and various parts, but then they have this new R1, I guess R1, I think calling it, chip that will take in all the sensory data and how to route that to feed to the information over. So safeties, fail grades integration, modular AI design, reinforcement learning. So as over time, the AI system improves itself. Simulations can be used to generate the necessary data for training the AI systems. Reducing sensor fusion, a lot of stuff we went over and other stuff. To design a novel approach to integrating augmented reality, talked about an AI, AR integrated display. Like I said, a lot of stuff I could see of not being, in as the helmets they're building for the new fighter planes will be literally what something we probably could build off shelf here. Intuitive alerts over time, it would learn a pilot, it's stuff you can imagine. It will learn a pilot, be to predict model, understand how the pilot may potentially respond to situations and give them their own optimized alerts and such. Interesting. Design a comprehensive human-machine interface for transmedium vehicles, focusing on reducing pilot workload, enhancing communication between crew members. Talked about the UI, the user interface should be simple, intuitive, and customizable, if you're going to do for the pilot. Augmented reality AI. So like I said, a lot of stuff is you can tell almost kind of where that thought process is going because the design elements are all kind of going that way. Predictive maintenance like that, dynamic path planning. Then now this is the one that's kind of a new thing. Propose and design a novel communication system for a transmedium vehicle that involves using the technology and phenomenon associated with a Kozyrev mirror-based device and an understanding of Kozyrev space, as described. I'm going to butcher Kaznashki and doctors Kaznashki and Trofimov. In designing such a communication system, first need to understand what a Kozyrev mirror is, and I highly recommend you to go research that and watch some videos. And it's a little bit creepy at times, I would say, but it's fairly interesting. So a Kozyrev mirror is a theoretical device named after the astrophysicist who died, of course, mysteriously right before his machine was completed. Of course. The idea of the mirror is associated with time, gravity, and torsion fields. Is conceived as a closed reflective cylinder that can focus and direct time energy, which could create an interaction which is referred to as Kozyrev space. Long and short of it, Nikolai Kozyrev theorized that time itself was a physical property, which kind of fits what we think of transmedium vehicles, and possibly with David Grush, and we're gonna get into that about possibly should have already been doing that. Okay, let me just finish this, because you know how the U.S. government be like, we don't know any evidence of extraterrestrial life, and they're looking like us. We don't know if it's extraterrestrial or interdimensional or from another time. So yeah, technically what I said was true. So let's say if, or is, okay, time is a definable force that can be manipulated, much like gravity and other things, and that we can develop devices that interact with that. So Kozyrev space, according to this, is a form of active ether that pervades the universe, or you could think of them as vacuum foam or 0 point, the essence, the creator, whatever, that pervades the universe and can interact with physical objects, time, and life processes. The active ether is filled with streams of time that carry energy, which can be tapped into and possibly manipulated. It's a lot of stuff and talked about in terms of other presences being in a Kozyrev space, human bodies improving from disease or just normal aging processes. Like I said, go ahead and do your own research and understand about it. But for our purposes, we're going to propose a communication system for our vehicle, which is harnessing Kozarov mirrors for communication. First part would involve installing a network of Kozarov mirrors within the vehicle. These mirrors would be designed to focus and direct the energy. So it's going a completely different way. Kozarov machines, and you can build one at home, quite honestly. You get the designs offline. You'll take aluminum and through a Fibonacci directed spiral towards the center, that's what causes time to spiral in on that point and create a Kozarov space to sit in. Like I said, you can build one at the crib. This is taking it a different way. We're just trying to like operationalize the technology, which, hey, look, I don't mind. These mirrors would be designed to focus and direct energy streams from the ether, quantum vacuum, or whatever you like to think of it as, into Kozarov space. This would essentially form the antenna system, Kozarov space. The mirrors would be linked to a Kozarov space interface. The interface would translate the energy streams harnessed by the mirrors to usable data. This involved transducing energy streams into electromagnetic waves, converted digital signals. So then it thought like, okay, maybe we can go more of a classical, almost, you know, we went from analog to digital. Now quantum, the next step, it would be quantum, which is probably part of consciousness, or even or consciousness would be the next phase up from quantum, but probably is. But then they said, well, but they put an apple, but we got one more thing. But taking inspiration from the works, the communication system could potentially incorporate element of consciousness interaction. If their research suggests that human minds can interact with Kozarov space, it may be possible to develop a system that allows the vehicle operators to communicate directly with the system through thoughts or consciousness. It's thundering here now because it knows this is what's going on about how I am with this. I've been dreading going through this, not so much, but you know. Not this part, but the other stuff that I'm going to just blabber about in a second. Final elements would involve transmitting and receiving communications through the active ether, Kozarov space as a transmitting vehicle. The vehicle may operate in different mediums such as airspace and water. By utilizing the universal active ether as a communication medium, it may be possible to maintain communications regardless. So it's like, oh my God, this would be dope if we could make it because, you know, we're going along with this thing. Blah, blah, blah. So where my thoughts at is, look, if anybody said, oh, how could this be hidden from us and nobody know for this? We've been told the entire time. You can go back. Now, look, it's been a lot of disinformation. You had a lot of people like Richard Doty, possibly John Lear. And I thought John Lear was telling the truth, but he probably was a disinformation agent in hindsight. But like I said, with disinformation, I'm blabbering a lot of stuff and I'm going to say a lot of things. You may need to look some stuff up if I say things you don't know. John Lear was the son of the guy who created the Lear plane, you know, a bunch of money, and was in the CIA and flew for the CIA for a while as a pilot. Had some records for like some of the long, I think like the most time in the air as a pilot at some points. So, you know, this is a guy who been in the skies and around people who would get in the skies and talk about it. So would he know some things? Yeah. In the 80s, he talking about, yeah, they have about 10 to 15 vehicles. 3 of them are intact. One of them they were trying to look. And now this is like coming out as new information. No, we've been hearing about that. Gray aliens. That's what some of the. Okay, so take a step back. If, from my understanding, you know, like I said, who knows what is what at this point. But if some things are true, there are probably many different species of, how we would consider species, different types of non-human intelligences that interact on this planet in our reality. Some may be our friends, some are not. I think a big part of the disinformation is to make us afraid of them, to make people think you're crazy to think it's real. And if it is real, they're going to kill you all and fucking kill you all and eat you and take your body parts and stick shit up your ass and all types of crazy shit. Right. So that's probably the disinformation, is because they could have been did that. So probably a bit of the truth is they've been here. Look, you know, could they have created us? That's a possibility. You know, they definitely probably been in our existence for a long time. You know, who knows? But, and that may be the biggest part we don't know. And so that's why people, just thought a long time ago to say alien, and they were like, well, maybe they're not alien. Come to find out, like, no, this is probably more of a dimensional thing. And so it's like, well, yeah, aliens aren't here. No, oh no, you didn't ask me if non-human intelligences are here. That's a different story. Yeah, that's that the late debate lord garbage. So I can go on all day. Is this part of Project Bluebeam, where they go think was a slow disclosure to get us ready for the alien invasion, quote unquote alien invasion, which is fake to try to initiate? Who knows? Who knows? But we should know. We should find out. There should be no way we don't force them to tell us. Except, we go forget all this, and then in another 20, 30 years, it'll all come up again. Who knows? But look, man, so this is kind of why I just been sitting here, because I'm like, all of this, we probably could have been did this. Probably have stuff that, that they already doing this. And that's what is a bit upsetting, It's just like we're wasting time and energy of a lot of intelligent people, especially if information is being hidden about, like, look, because one of the theories is that, how secret nuke stuff was before they built the nuke. So we won't go tell no people about, hey, there's all this nuclear stuff before we built it and mastered it. So we haven't really mastered the non-human intelligent technologies yet. So we're just waiting to try to master it before we tell everybody, which is, look, it's garbage. You gotta, I can imagine the excuses, but like, it's too long. We need to get this information out. And, I don't know if Grush is a disinformation agent. I thought I was sitting there thinking he wasn't, but then I was watching something today. Somebody from a long time ago said, anybody come out and say they work for the government, they an agent. And I was like, wait a second, no, not okay. But so I'm just sick of the garbage. I want to just get to the truth so we can just move on and just be better as human beings. That's all my goal. So with that said, you know how the game is. I love you. You love you. God loves us. And that's all that matters.